Suffering from dry, tired, irritated eyes? Don't let dry eyes win. Use Sustain Pro. It hydrates, restores, and protects dry eyes for up to 12 hours. Sustain Pro. Triple action dry eye relief.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
I know enough to talk to somebody who actually does know. And we have with us again Dr. Nazee Moinian, who his family's from Iran, fled Iran, is a great New Yorker now, her entire family. She's also a PhD, so we call her Dr. Nazee Moinian, Dr. Moinian. PhD in Iranian Studies. She's a fellow at the Middle East Institute, and she is educated on this issue. She knows it culturally, she knows it personally, and she's without political bias. So, Dr. Moinian, so good to be with you again. Tell us objectively, with your vast education in the area, what do you think of the deal, quote unquote? What happens? Does it get signed? Is there peace? Where do we go from here? Oh, we have a little technical problem. We're not hearing the good doctor. Just give us one moment. She is very good on Iranian studies. She is obviously.
Hi, can you hear me?
Not as good on technology. There you are, Nazee. How are you?
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
So we're all good, right? We
yes,
can hear each
yes,
other.
we can.
I think I stopped my video. I think the telephone wants to either show my face or broadcast my voice. So let me see. I'll just keep on going. Can you still hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
we hear you fine.
Well, thank you for the introduction, Governor. As someone who's known you and your family for many, many years, and your three beautiful daughters, I have to say they are lucky to have you as a daughter. They're lucky to have had Mario as their grandfather, and you're lucky to have your beautiful girls. It's a wonderful sight to see the four of you together. So aside from that,
thank you.
Yes. So I just want to correct that it's not a treaty. I wish it were actually, because then it would be subject to congressional approval. It's a deal, and a deal is only reviewed by the Congress. You could go on with an executive direction or a presidential mandate and still enforce a deal. You cannot do so with the treaty, and that's how JCPOA went through and became JCPOA, and finally we withdrew it from it in 2018. It's signed on Wednesday. The president signed it, I think in Versailles. We saw also a video of that. The Iranians countersigned it. We also saw a picture of that with Pezeshkian holding up the signed agreement. The evolution of that MOU has come to a point where things are very fuzzy right now, Governor. The Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, flew to Switzerland to meet with the Iranian delegation. He came into the room first, and we see him milling around, speaking a little bit to Prime Minister of Pakistan. And later on, I don't know how long it takes before Araghchi, the foreign minister of Iran, walks in and ignores J.D. Vance, doesn't shake hand, looks at the room, speaks to a few people here and there, and walks out. The Iranian delegation walks out on the negotiators in the room from the United States of America. That doesn't mean that they didn't speak to each other. Then we heard from very knowledgeable sources that they were actually speaking to each other, and they're planning on speaking to each other into the night, which I think it's right about now. They're about 6 hours ahead. So it's 11 o'clock at night in Switzerland. The optics were wrong. The Americans looked nervous. They looked like they were awaiting the Iranians. It was a lopsided version of what it should have been. The Americans had the leverage. I would have come in after the Iranians, have them wait. It didn't happen that way. I don't know if our team knows about the cultural nuances of the Iranian hierarchical system, but it wasn't started well. Let's see if it ends well.
How did Iran, where does I'm going to call it arrogance, where does the arrogance come from on their part?
That's a great question. And I can put my my thesis hat on this because I write about this a little bit in the book that I'm going to publish based on my thesis. It's a cultural penchant of vulgar nationalism. It's a nationalism gone awry, not in the way we had it in Nazi Germany, becoming a fascist country. No, we're very far away from it. But, Iran, I don't have to tell you, very well, I'm sure your listeners have also heard it a million times that, they're a proud country. They've had a great 2,500, 2,700-year-old civilization. They are known for high culture, art, poetry, music, painting, miniature gardens, beautiful architecture. At the time in 15th and 16th century, when Europe was just coming out of Middle Ages and going through Renaissance, pre-Renaissance period, Iran was the center of Renaissance in the Middle East. And we had emissaries and travelers from Europe traveling through Iran and writing this beautiful, I don't know what you call it, like a pamphlet on what they've seen, who they've spoken to in Iran, and how they were enamored with the culture. So that's where the pride comes from. Where it becomes ugly is that this pride is perverted into a system of belief that we are superior. Islam has made us even more superior. And the way of Allah is the way that the world needs to listen to. And you guys are still in dark ages. You guys meaning the Western civilization. So even with that said, Governor, it's a kabuki theater. They are proud. They are arrogant. They walk into the room thinking that they have all the leverage, but they're also extremely insecure. They know that they're hated by their population. They know that the region hates them. The Arab Gulf countries cannot stand them, cannot stand the regime, not the Iranians. So it's a walkout theater. It's a kabuki theater.
Do you think, Nazee, that this treaty gets signed and holds, or are we going to just see a continual, ongoing debate? You broke the ceasefire. We're closing the Strait of Hormuz again. Israel violated it. Does it really end, or is this just the beginning of a new reality where we're in this constant tension back and forth?
Well, again, it's not a treaty, it's a deal. And you're exactly right. It's going to be continued the way it has started, on shaky grounds, distrustful on the other side, two scorpions circling each other in a bottle, waiting for one to move. They're both, in a way, lethal. They both want to have a maximalist result. They are willing to settle for nothing less. And based on that, the MOU has hit all the wrong notes, Governor. It's, as one of my colleagues has said, I don't know if these are his words or this is something he's heard from the people of Iran, but Iranians also tend to be extremely funny. They had to survive under tremendous conditions for thousands of years. But anyway, they've developed a sense of humor. They call the MOU an IOU. I owe you $300 in war reparations. I owe you $100 billion in frozen assets. I owe you the sovereignty over Lebanon, the control of the state of Hormuz. So this MOU/IOU agreement is not a deal yet. And I just want to emphasize that it's a memorandum of understanding. It could also be, as Karim Sajapur from Carnegie Endowment for Peace says, it could be a memorandum of misunderstanding, and it's already exhibiting that. It has been addressing a few issues on the nuclear program, nothing on the missile, nothing on the proxies, nothing on the Iranians themselves. And with U.S. and Iran both promising the other side that they will not meddle in the other's internal affairs. But the more you read it, the more you hear the vice president trying to sell it feverishly at this point, the more you realize that we're giving so much upfront in return for a pinky promise.
Yeah, I'll end it on that. A pinky promise, and nobody would trust their pinky promise. And Doctor, thank you very much for your insights as usual. I think you made it a very cogent case.